And welcome back to another video. Sorry I did that voice because my wife says I sound like Stampy, the Minecraft YouTuber, when I start my videos and I go hello. Anyway, thanks for watching. This week I'm going to talk about balance in OSR. What I mean by balancing classes in OSR. I've seen a lot of comments saying, well, the classes are very off-balanced and some are much more powerful than others. And this is true. I'm going to be looking at, for example, for this video, the Swords and Wizardry book, the revised remastery thing that they brought out, which is by Matt Finch. Well, primarily by Matt Finch. Anyway, let's have a look. So there is disparity in classes. So let's have a look at, for example, the Thief, which is, I believe, the last class at the back of the book. So the Thief, as they do in most OSR style games, they have the ability to backstab and do double damage, which is great. They have, in this, they have a saving throw bonus on against traps and staffs and things. They can read languages at 3rd level, read magical writings, but then they get the thieving skills, which is climbing on walls, delicate tasks, hearing sounds, hiding in shadows, move silently, opening locks, and they have a table which shows you the percentile chances, and as they increase in level, the percentile chances get better, or they've got 4 in 6 chance to hear sounds, for example, things like that. But if you look at their hit dice, they only have 1d4 hit dice, and their saving throws aren't that great to begin with, and they could potentially, in a OSR style game, get one shot. I'd let a thief, for me, example, I'd let them start at 4 hit points, just so that they could at least take one hit. So that's what thieves get, and different ancestries in this get, or races or species, however you want to phrase it, get different bonuses to different things. But if you remember, in OSR style games, humans could progress up to level 16, 12 plus, whatever you like. They can progress much higher than other ancestries in the game. But the other ancestries had bonuses, so that was meant to be the balance for it. But I'm not going to talk too much about the race today. So on the face of it, the thief has these abilities, which are they're alright, but they're really easy to die, and you wouldn't put them front of combat. They have the backstab ability, so when they attack with surprise from behind, gets +4 to hit, and they can double their damage, and that triples at levels 5 to 8. And so, yeah, and above level 8 is a quadruple damage, which is really useful for that thief to get in there, do it, stab, and get out. Remember, thieves were one of the only skill monkeys in the game, and they were really valuable back in the day. If you needed to do anything outside of, well, not anything, but a lot of the standard dungeon work, or not just dungeon work, but just, you know, anything unscrupulous, they were brilliant. However, for the sake of balance, let's look at the monk. Well, in Swords and Wizardry, the monk, if they have a dexterity of 15 plus, gets the exact same skills as the thief. And if you look at the page, they have the exact same percentile chances. Well, not the exact same, but almost the exact same chances as a thief. So a monk, if you choose to be a monk, you'd say, well, why would I not be... I mean, they don't get the backstab, but they get a lot of the skills of the thief. But they have to have a high dexterity to do it. But if you're really playing an OSR game that you're trying to really get into, your DM's going to allow you to be a monk. And even if you don't have a 15 plus, you can still be the monk. Also, they get a damage bonus when they inflict damage 2nd level using weapons, and increase every other level, so to a maximum of +5 to their damage. So they don't do double damage, but they're persistent damage is more. And they have the deadly strike. When they roll 5 or higher than the required to hit number, target's got a 75% chance of being stunned for 2d6 rounds. So that could be 2, that could be 12 rounds they're out. Moreover, if the monk strength is 12 plus, the mystic perfection of the blow has a 25% chance to kill the opponent, provided the opponent's hit dice are no more than 1 higher than the monk's. Then they get multiple attacks if they have a dexterity of 15 plus, but that doesn't start till I think 6th level, so that's something later on. And they're very alert, So there's a 1 in 6 chance that they'd be surprised in combat instead of a 2 in 6 for most of it. And they can get to deflect missile, they have slow falling, they've got great saving throw bonuses, they can make multiple attacks, they can add damage to their attacks, they can speak with animals, they can do what a thief does. They don't get the double backstab damage, but they are objectively on paper basically a better thief. And they can do what a thief does better. So then people would say, well, why would I be a thief? And that would be a valid point to make. The monk does have the same hit dice, though, as the thief. So for a front-line class, they're going to be weak, especially early on. They're not going to want to take too many slaps. And they can't use armor as well, by the way. But their armor class goes up every level and gets better and better on its own, as you can see. So why would you be thief as opposed to a monk? Well, I'll tell you why. And this is very simple. In old OSR games, everybody advanced in level at a different rate. Look, you need 2,500 experience to level up to be a level 2 monk. Compare that to the thief needs 1,250 experience. So by the time the monk gets to level 2, the thief is at level 3. The thief has another hit dice over the monk, and it has much better thieving chances. You know, they've got the 4 in 6 chance to hear sounds and 89% climb walls. They are just better at well, they're just better at the skills that they require, and they are a higher level and able to assist the party better, and they're more survivable. They're much more able to survive the dungeon. So that is why, yes, on the face of it, the monk, why not be the monk? Well, the monk's going to take a long time, and especially as the levels go up, it's going to take longer and longer and longer to level up. For example, let's have a look at 40,000 experience. The thief is at level 7. At 40,000 experience, the monk's at level 6. And if we extrapolate that even further, by the time you get to 10th or 11th level, thief needs 120,000 experience or 240,000 experience. If you say the thief is now at 240,000 experience, the campaign's been going on for a long time, their gold haul's gotten huge, they've been gaming for a while. Well, at 240,000 experience, the monk is still at level 8. In fact, at 240,000 experience, the monk's at level 8. Well, the thief is at level 11 at this point, so the thief is pulling ahead in their abilities and their hit points and their bonuses to damage by this point, whereas the monk's still way behind. And this is true for other classes. So the magic user is similar. The magic user, whilst being objectively at later levels very strong, so is the monk actually. The monk is very strong as a martial at later levels. Very strong. But they're advancing so much slower compared to, for example, a fighter. Whereas a fighter in this game you might look at a fighter. Let's have a look at the fighter page here. So a fighter would be level 8 or maybe level 9 at 256,000 points, experience points. But their abilities to hit are much better. I mean, obviously everybody's got different to hit tables as well, but they're advancing quicker. So they might be more basic, but they're advancing much quicker. And in Swords and Wizardry, they're the only class that can have a high strength bonus to hit and on damage. It recommends that everybody gets at least a +1 if their strength is over a certain amount, but only the fighter should be able to get the +2s and the +3s. And obviously, there you have multiple attacks. 1 per level each round. Any creature with 1 hit dice or less. And remember, in OSR, those 1 hit dice creatures are still relevant and a threat to you, no matter that. I mean, they're not going to knock out a fighter at a high level, but it really makes that fighter seem, really useful at later levels. When you start getting in later levels at OSR, that fighter's doing 8 attacks per round at level 8, or just whatever their level is. That's huge. The fighter is going in, slap, 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 and just absolutely demolishing creatures that it gets to fight. So it's going to absolutely cleave different people. And some DMs might say, well, you've killed that one, then you can have attack against the other one. So fighters are really useful, and they advance quite quickly. Not as quick as the thief. The thief has the easiest time advancing compared to any class. But when we talk about balance in the game, and that, well, one option, why would I not choose the monk? Because the monk at later levels is going to absolutely kick some butt. Why would I choose that? Or why would I not choose the cleric? Or why would I choose the cleric? Why wouldn't I choose the druid? Or why would I choose these different things? Well, actually, in OSR, it's all about the leveling. And it's all about what you get with each level. So objectively, the wizard is probably one of the most powerful classes later on. They have access to silly, stupid spells which will wipe out people. But getting there is hard, and they're not going to be advancing at the same rate. But then I would ask, what do you think about everybody advancing at different rates? Because a lot of games nowadays, they have story advancement. You finish this chapter, everybody goes up a level, and people like going up a level. It's like a little reward. Oh, I've gone up a level. That's brilliant, and it is nice when everybody gets a level. Everybody feels happy. When you finish a story arc, and only a couple of people have gone up a level because they're easier classes, and other people haven't, they might justifiably feel, oh, I haven't gone up a level, and everybody else has, and I feel a bit left out. Well, there could be psychology behind that, and that people, you could say, well, people need to be a bit more resilient in their expectations, and actually you've got a class that's going to start whipping butt soon. And every class does, even in the new game, have different advantages and disadvantages, and some classes get better features at certain levels than others. And this is very true also. But what you could do in a campaign is, at the end of every adventure or at every sort of campaign arc, you award a static amount of experience. Like you get 10,000 experience at the end of this campaign, and because the experience points extrapolate, you get 50,000 experience points. So that way, everybody is still probably going to level up at least once, but some people might level up quicker than others due to those static amounts that you are going to give on top of the gold and everything like that. So that's a way to get around that, I feel. However, let's say you're looking at an OSR game and you think, well, I don't like those really low hit dice and I might die. And I don't like my lack of powers. I'm a cleric and I only get, at level 1, no spells. Though the game does, the Swords and Wizardry at least does recommend you give them a spell at level 1, an extra one if their wisdom score's high enough. But what's stopping you starting an OSR game at level 2 or at level 3? Nothing. How many games of 5e have you played in which you've started the game at a higher level? Because at level 3 in a lot of 5e games, you get to choose the path that your character is going to go down. You get to choose whether you're a Circle of the Moon Druid, for example, or something like that. You get to choose whether you're an Oath of Vengeance Paladin at level 3. And a lot of people start at that level because they like the extra ability. Well, nothing's stopping you doing that in OSR style games either, and you get those extra bits. Like an assassin at level 3 starts to get some thief abilities, not as good as the thief, but they start to get some thief abilities at level 3, so there's nothing stopping you do that either. So I think that's a valid point, really, and that nothing's stopping anybody, and people often do in games, just start characters at higher levels. So when people worry about the durability of their class, well, you don't need to, because you could just start at high levels anyway, so we don't have to worry too much about the deadliness if the deadliness is not what we're about. Some people love the deadliness, some people don't, of course. But the point is that the game can be what you make it, and that's true for all types of games. But I think that is where the balancing of classes come in. Going back to the point of the video, the balancing of classes come into this game. Everybody starts at different levels, or you could just say, for example, everybody starts off with 5,000 experience. So, for example, therefore, the monk would be level 3 and they'd actually be quite useful. They'd do some more damage, etc. Whereas at 5,000 experience, the thief would be level 4, which would be really good. And at 5,000 experience, the ranger would be level 3. So, and 5,000 experience, so with the paladin and, you know, the magic user would be level 3. Everybody starts off at level 3 with 5,000 experience, except for the thief. Then everybody will rank up at different rates, but you can put everybody on an even keel to start off with. And I think that is a valid way to play the game. And then still the balance comes in, and the balance being some classes aren't quite as powerful as other classes, but the classes that aren't as powerful actually rank up quicker. And that is where the balance of OSR comes in my opinion. But anyway, what do you think? That's what I think. Sound like I'm Professor Dungeon Master there. That's what I think. What do you think? So let me know, and take care. Bye-bye.